EduTrainer Workshops, the insurance industry's leading education and training platform, presents Life Insurance, the entry-level series, the products, the underwriting, and the planning applications to position your practice as the premier provider of insurance products in your community. Get on board, get on track, get to where you're going. And now, your EduTrainer National Insurance columnist, Steve Savant.
Well, welcome everyone. I'm Steve Savant, your EduTrainer and coach for our EduTrainment workshops and our entry level into our introduction into life insurance. And all this week, we're talking about the myriads of riders that you can throw on life insurance. These riders could be embedded in the policy. These riders could actually have no cost to them. They could be mortality riders. They could be morbidity riders. We're going to get into all that over the next couple days. Before we go any further though, if you're coming to our class, and this is our last week of our 60 video series, wow, I can't believe we just done this. You need to go out to our website so that when you go back and go start on our video day one, which is about almost 3 months ago, you need to go back there and start actually from the beginning. And we recommend that you go out to our sponsor site, Lincoln Benefit, an Allstate company, and go out to their site, and the website is www.lblsales.com/ETW. And what that'll do is that will actually give you an opportunity to download their software, and it says Run Installer. As soon as you come to it, you click on it and download the software, and then you'll be able to go page by page with us during the times that we use it. And we use it frequently throughout our 60 vignettes that we're doing here on our workshops. So I want you to go out there and go ahead and download it. We believe that you'll have a great learning experience. It's one of the best tutorials for an illustration or proposal system I've ever seen. Secondly, Lincoln Benefit Life and Allstate are also offering some really good helps, some really good marketing campaigns and good strategies for you to get out in front of your client. And on their page, you can see it's a kind of a long URL at the bottom of our page, and it's also that same address is on our search engine optimizations attached to this video. So if you see it, just go ahead and copy paste it into your browser and it'll put you right here. And one of the things I like is the Facts of Your Life. It comes in a full book form if you want it, absolutely free, or the attached email so that you can you can actually fill it out and then keep it as part of your client file. Either way, it's excellent, and there are things in there that I would have never thought about, and it's really quite exhaustive, and I think it's a good prospecting tool. Speaking about prospecting tools, they have excellent prospecting letters and prospecting postcards already done, and there's several to choose from, a good dozen. And what I recommend is that you go through it, especially if you're not really sure, I've never really done this before, go ahead and go through that, and you'll see that it's really quite a good inventory of first contact material for a client, for existing clients, as well as prospecting clients. And just a heads up, even though this has been approved by Allstate, if you're a registered rep and you belong to a broker dealer, you're going to still need to have compliance look at this and approve it for their use with your practice. And if you're with an insurance agent, they have similar protocols, just to make sure that they've already looked at this and approved your use of these materials. They're excellent. And the last thing I want to talk about before we get into our class today is our own website, www.brokersalliance.com. As soon as you come onto our homepage, you'll see the red on-demand button. All you do is click on it, and as soon as you click on the on-demand button, you'll notice you'll be in all our inventory of all of our EduTrainment workshops. In this case, the Introduction to Life, which is a 60 video series. And you just can click on that. And also back there is my weekend show called Welcome to the Weekend with Steve Savant, as well as our daily internet talk show, The Business Insurance Zone. So lots out there, and it's tremendous material for education, information, and remember, we even have I would say a nice, good audience of retail clients just checking us out all the time and coming to the videos and trying to help their educational process. So today, what we're going to do is we're going to talk a little bit more about life insurance riders. And the first thing I want to talk about, yesterday we talked about the big one, which I think is a big one, morbidity definitions. Now, the reason I have to go through this is because I don't want you to be shortchanged, especially if you're conditioned to selling life insurance and you've never really played in morbidity products like disability or long-term care. Definitions and the way they assess things may be very, very different than your understanding, and especially if you're more of an annuity life guy. And this is really an important thing to go through. So I want to go through a thing first called these ADLs, because there's going to be chronic illness, there's going to be other critical illness writers that are going to look for ADLs, and they're going to ask you how many of these ADLs can you service. And right now, an ADL is activity of daily living. Activity of daily living. Now, some people call them BADLs, which is the basic activities of daily living, but whichever one you like to use, that's fine with me. Now, the first one, ADL, that I want to talk about, activity of daily living, is, can my client feed themselves? Now, I find this somewhat humorous because now it goes to they're feeding themselves, but they're not cooking for themselves. I've noticed certain geriatric demographics where everything is now canned or pre-done, pre-made, microwave, very little cooking, what I call critical cooking. But as long as they're feeding themselves and they're taking care of themselves, whether they're fully cooking or they're just using microwave or they're just eating out of a can, feeding is the number one ADL I want to look at. Can they feed themselves? The number two is toileting. Do they need assistance to go to the bathroom? Do they need escort? Do they need support services? Do they need sanitation services? I want to know, does my client have the ability to take care of themselves in the arena of toileting? And it's a really important area, and so I just want to make sure, are you able to be self-sustaining or you need assistance? And if you need assistance, how much assistance do you need? Another one is, believe it or not, is selecting appropriate attire. Now, I laugh at this because one person's modesty may not be another person's modesty, but one of these ADLs is selecting attire, the appropriate attire. If I'm going out to shop and you're living in a zone which has heavy winter and you're wearing a light coat or no coat at all, and you do that consistently, and then you become sick and you have pneumonia and things like that, are you wearing proper attire? Are you wearing proper protection? Maybe you're out in Arizona like we are, where we broadcast, and you're not wearing appropriate attire and you're getting sunburn. And remember, our state has a higher rate of melanoma. Things like that. Are we selecting the appropriate attire? It's really important to know it. Grooming. Am I taking care of myself? Am I taking my proper baths? Am I taking showers? Do I need help to do such things? I want to be able to look at this area of grooming. Am I just straggly? Am I letting my beard go as a guy? Am I still getting haircuts? Am I still being able to go to places and take care of myself? Grooming is one of those personal items that tells me if I can't groom myself or if I can't really use the bathroom facilities without assistance, then all of a sudden I'm having problems with activities of daily living. These things we think about every day, or we don't think about them until we get older, and all of a sudden that becomes an issue. Then this issue of continence. Continence, what's my actual cognitive power? Now, some life applications that you've seen, they'll ask you for the clock. Can they do the time? They'll have other exercises to measure your client's mental state. Continence is a big deal because they want to know, am I dealing with somebody that actually can make a decision for a contract, which life insurance is a contract. So I have to make sure that my client has the wherewithal and the mental capacity to do this. If that becomes an issue, then all of a sudden I got to really talk about beneficiaries. I got to get somebody in there who has power of attorney. I just need to know what's going on. But can they do day-to-day chores in their thinking? Are they doing their checkbook still? Are they doing their basic parts of their investment and their retirement monies that are coming in? Do they know how to take care of it? Are they taking care of it? All those things are true. Now, remember, we talked about selecting attire. Another one that goes with it says, can I dress myself? Can I dress myself? Do I need assistance? Now, I'm not talking about assistance where I just need a little pin in the back here or my zippers, I can't really reach it. I'm talking about I need real help every day getting dressed. If I need real help getting dressed, that's an issue because that is a critical one for activities of daily living. So not only selecting the right attire, but am I dressing correctly? In other words, can I dress myself? Do I really need assistance or can I do this by myself? And then one of the other things I talked about in grooming, is bathing. Now we've changed a lot of our protocols. As you go into senior geriatric living, I've noticed Walk-in showers, walk-in bathrooms now that have seats, the whole side, there's nothing to hop over. You just walk in, it self-seals, you sit down, very comfortable, very easy to do. But can I do it by myself? Can I get there? Can I perform? Can I draw water? Can I take care of myself? Do I need assistance? And one of those big areas is, do I need assistance bathing? And the last one is, do I need walking or transfer issues from my bed to a wheelchair, from my wheelchair to the bathroom, from my wheelchair to the kitchen? I need to know, do I have walking or transferring skill sets? Can I still physically pull this off myself? And those things I want to know and look at some of these ideas for ADLs, because some contracts are going to call for morbidity definitions. Now, we're going to go to another area that you're maybe not as familiar with when we're talking about these kind of riders. And this is a kind of a different phrase that we use. It's called instrumental activities of daily living, IADLs. Now, in IADLs, or instrumental activities for daily living, I want to know, and I kind of alluded to this already, can you manage your money? Can you manage your money? Again, are you being able to take care of your incoming income, your pension, your Social Security? Are you able to go ahead and maybe not do your taxes so much, but at least be able to collect the information? You're taking care of your checking account. You're doing basic management of finance. And those are some of the things I want to look at. And then another one is, what about transportation? You're not driving anymore, but you can get to a public bus. You can order a taxi. I'm looking for, do you have basic support skill sets to take care of this? Even if you're not driving any longer, you can always outsource to public transportation or commercial transportation like taxis. I'm looking for that kind of, can you navigate the public system or the commercial system and get to where you want to go? Another one is, and where do I want to go? Well, shopping. And I want you to know, every Wednesday in our community, the first Wednesday of every month is kind of like senior citizens, and everybody goes there because they give breaks. And so there could be a 10% discount, there could be coupon specific, but the place is packed, especially in summer months early on because of the heat in Arizona. And I've noticed that these places are packed out with people that are exceeding 70, 75, even though it starts at a lot earlier than that at 55, but the heavy traffic with what I call real seniors. And when I see shopping, I see many come in under their own power. They take their carts out. They're a little slower. They walk a little more tenuous, but they're doing everything. They're getting there. Maybe mom's driving now. Dad's not driving anymore. It doesn't matter. Can they shop? Can they do it? And if they can't, are they just getting escorted to it? They know what they're doing. They're making their decisions. They just need help. And I always like it when the young man says to me, "Sir, may I take these bags out to your car?" And I always answer him, "About 20 years from now, I'll take you up on that." And then another issue we talked about earlier, preparing meals. Now this is kind of this open area I brought up before, because preparing meals is, what do you mean by preparing meal? Am I actually cooking, baking? Am I doing prep work for this? Or am I now starting to buy pre-done meals, prefabricated meals? Am I just eating out of a can? Can I prepare my own meals? And to me, that's a huge issue. How do I prepare my own meals? Am I still doing it? Am I still making different kinds of regimens for breakfast, lunch, and dinner? It just depends upon your client and what they're doing. But preparing meals, that's a big deal. And then another one, of course, can I use the telephone? Can I have communication? And I remember sometimes, especially with dementia and Alzheimer's patients, they'll have a very big dial-up, very big sizable telephone on the wall, and all they have to do is hit the picture of their children, and they can get, and it rings their phone and they can get to them. They also may have emergencies, devices around their neck so they can press it if they fell and they couldn't get up. All those issues. And the last one is, are they doing any maintenance at home? Are they doing any of their own house cleaning? And if not, are they outsourcing it? And is that just a basic idea that they've done by choice, or they just can't clean house any longer? I just want to look at these things called instrumental activities of daily living in combination with our normal ADLs, how we think about it. And that's when once I understand that, I can tell you whether or not we think the morbidity riders on our life insurance is going to be appropriate.
This has been an EduTrainment Workshop, the educational division of the National Insurance Clearinghouse, the marketing arm of Brokers Alliance, and sponsored by Lincoln Benefit Life, an Allstate company.